Annie, and we're going to go over hitches, starting with the Girth hitch and the Prusiks. So here I have tools to use for this. I have a 4mm cordelette. This is about 5 feet long in total, tied together on the end with a double fisherman. I use this as a third hand, and of course we are going to have some videos at the end of this course where we go over how all of these things are used in practice. And then hitches need to be tied or wrapped around something else for them to be a hitch, unlike a knot, which can just be tied to itself. So I have a climbing rope here to tie hitches onto with this. So to start with, I'm going to put a loop of rope of this cordelette underneath my climbing rope. And throughout these practices, I want to keep my knot that ties this cordelette together out of the way. So I'm always going to keep it at the end, never directly dead center at the end, because that could get in the way for once we put a carabiner through it, but just offset at the end like that. And we're going to tie a girth hitch. This one is super easy. We just take the top loop here and thread the bottom one through it. And that's a girth hitch. Probably everyone has tied a girth hitch before, whether or not you knew what the name of it was. Okay, so next we'll do the Prusiks. It starts in a similar way. We have the loop of rope here. Now we're going to take the bottom loop and once again bring it up through the top loop, but instead of lacing it through, I'm going to do a U-turn here, bring it right back down for one loop and pull it a little bit tight, not too much though, because we're going to keep going. 2, and let's do one more because hitches need to have at least 3 loops put in them, or as many as it takes, at least 3. Here we go. As many as it takes to bite, that is. Let's do the third one, lacing it through. And now I'm going to start pulling the tail down. It looks like a mess now, but that loop, that top loop, should be on the outer edges of this, like so. And just keep pulling. We can make this look nice once it's pulled tight. There we go. We're going to dress it, as it's called, which means we're going to make it look pretty because friction hitches need to be dressed to work. They need to be pretty. And what does that mean? We have 6 little lines here and they all are right next to each other and they look nice, right? 6 loops. None of them are crossed over each other. We don't have some with a lot of slack and others that are really tight. Okay, so friction hitches need to have at least 3 loops put into them, or as many as it takes for it to bite, and they need to be dressed, they need to be pretty. And how do we know if they work? Well, we have to test them each and every time to see if they bite. So if I pull on it and it does not move, that means it bites. Now Prusiks can be loaded in either direction, so I should be able to pull on it either way and it should bite and not move. Now if I unweight it, I should be able to now move it up and down, right? But once it's weighted, it stays in place. That's a friction hitch. A Prusik bites really tight. For this reason, I prefer not to use it for things like rappelling or ascending a rope. In fact, I don't really use it for much of anything just because it bites so tight. Once you unweight it, you kind of have to fight it too much to undo it. It's also more, takes longer to tie. For ascending a rope or for rappelling, I would use the Klemheist and the auto block, which we will do next.